Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Good Friday to you, all of you. Oh my gosh. All right. So, couple of things. Just got to check everything out here. Taking a look. Okay. So, first of all, we're at a weird angle. So, for those of you who are wondering, sorry, putting the robot away. Forgot to take the robot out of the office. So, oh, look at me. I'm all weird today. This different angle is just kind of throwing me off my game a little bit. So I got to tell you why it is that I look the way that I do at the moment. Yesterday, when I was practicing getting everything set up for the new JTV show that premieres this afternoon, I broke the tripod that holds my iPad. So we are currently broadcasting on my iPhone, and it is all types of weird. It's really, really strange because we're in a different, we're at a different camera angle. So we're this way instead of in portrait mode, which is really kind of weird. And I'm also trying to figure out how to use StreamYard through the phone. So you guys, just thank you for being patient with me today because lots of changes going on. And it's thrown me off just a little bit, but that's okay. We're not going to let it stop us, right? We have got a wonderful show for you guys today. It is Feel Good Friday. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Feel Good Friday, let me give you the quick little rundown. So Feel Good Friday is all about easy, fun, instant gratification jewelry that you can put together yourself very easily. And I make this super easy for you by putting all of the things that you see in today's show in kit form over in my Etsy shop. So all you have to do is either click on the links that my team is dropping in the chat, or you can just head over to my Etsy shop. That is etsy.com/shop/13crows, and you can grab any or all of the kits that you see in today's show. Okay, so anybody who makes purchases, you guys, I cannot thank you enough. That is what keeps the lights on and keeps me going and keeps me being able to come here and give you all of this content. So excuse me. Thank you in advance for all of that. Coffee's starting to kick in. Can you tell? Like I'm starting to get a little. It's Friday, y'all. It's Friday. All right. So that's not the only thing that I have to tell you guys about. So turning the phone on the side changes the landscape. It does. However, it messes with the StreamYard controls, which makes it really, really awkward for me to use. So I'm just trying to leave it like it is because if it's not broken, don't want to fix it. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to mess with it too much. So yeah, we're just going to deal with it in this mode. Guys, I got a new tripod coming. It's just not going to be here until next week. So we're doing the best that we can with what we've got. And the timing was bad, right? The timing is bad because announcement number 2 is that my new JTV remote show starts today. That's happening this afternoon. So set your reminders for 4 p.m. I know there was a little bit of confusion about that because the website hadn't quite caught up with the schedule change, but 4 p.m. Eastern time, I will be debuting Master Maker on JTV Extra. So the best way to get to that show this afternoon is going to be to go to jtvextra.com and you're going to scroll down. You're going to see where that show is and you're just going to click on that and that's going to take you right to it. However, my team is going to be dropping links in all of the places. So in case you struggle with finding it over on the JTV website, you'll be able to find it on Facebook. So it'll be on my business page. It'll be in the community group. It'll be in the Hardwired group. It'll be in all the places, you guys. So hopefully you won't have any trouble finding it. But that is today, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. It will not stream directly from my Facebook page. It streams from JTV Extra. So I don't want there to be any confusion there. And one of the other things that I want you guys to know about that show, since I can't say all of these things when I'm actually in the show, the format is just a little bit different. Obviously, I will be selling JTV products. I'm focusing all on components. It's going to be super easy for you guys to shop when you are there watching. But the most important thing that I can ask of you guys is that you please share. So if you've got groups, if you've got places on Facebook where you are able to share a stream, just like you share our lives here, please be sure that you share my JTV show as well, because we want it to go far and wide, right? I've worked really hard to get back into all of that. So we definitely want to make it We want to make it worth it. And we definitely want to show JTV that our Sara Lovecraft Designs community stretches far and wide, and we got lots of peeps. So, all right. Thank you to everybody who is supporting me. I appreciate it so, so much. All right. Let's get into our Feel Good Friday show. So, excuse me. Our Feel Good Friday shows always start out with our maker mixes. Maker mixes are small batches of beady goodness, things that I don't have enough of to create a kit out of, but that I still want to share with you. So I put together these little mixes. And if you purchase a maker mix, you can then create a piece of jewelry using the maker mix and then post it for our community to see. And if you post your picture, then you're automatically entered into a drawing to win a package of goodies from me. More beady goodness. Who doesn't love beady goodness, right? So we do a drawing once a month, and I do have our winner for our previous month. And if I butcher your name, please forgive me. I'm doing the best that I can here. But our winner for last month is Janet Crimper Sarir. If I'm saying your last name wrong, I'm so sorry. So Janet Sarir, you are our winner. We'll be getting in touch with you soon to get you your excuse me, your address so that I can send you your goodies. But guys, that's the cool part about the maker mixes. You grab a maker mix, you make a piece of jewelry, and you share it. And we don't judge it. We're not judging, right? We're just being inspired. You're just sharing your creativity with the rest of the community. And that sharing goes a really long way into boosting others' self-confidence and boosting your own. I mean, it's really just kind of a domino effect of what happens with those maker mixes. So that's how I'm going to start out the show. I'm going to show you this week's maker mix. Then I've got 2 bracelets, 2 necklaces, and a pair of earrings for you guys. So without further ado, we're going to get started. As soon as I figure out with the new controls here how to turn the camera around. Hold on, let's see. It's so different. It's so different. Okay, give me just a second. Okay, camera. Nope, turn the camera back on. Using my phone is a whole new world, you guys. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Settings. Nope, that's not going to do it. How do we turn it around when it's... Hey, Jesse's here. Jesse, I'm using my phone to do StreamYard, and I don't know how to get to the back camera this way. Any idea? Y'all, this is throwing me off. It's throwing me off a bit. Okay, I'm glad you guys do have patience because this is really stressing me out a bit. Okay, so no, I don't want to exit. I don't want to mute. I don't want to turn anything off. Camera. Nope. I got to stop hitting that camera button. Layout. Nope. It's so weird. Settings. It's not in the settings. Take a deep breath. Yeah, so Jesse, I'm using my phone to do StreamYard, which I've never done before because I usually use the iPad. And the layout is really, really different. So I don't see the button where I can switch the camera to the back camera. Interesting. A little arrow symbol in the corner. There's not any symbols. That's the thing. There's not any buttons here. That's what's throwing me off. Like I'm not entirely sure. Select which camera. It's just the one camera though. If I hit the camera button, it takes me away. That's not gonna work. Let's see here. What else can I do from here? Well, I'm glad I look okay because y'all are getting a lot of looks at me here. Right, usually has a round circle. So let's see if I turn everything this direction, if that's gonna, does that change things for me? Do you have to do this on JTV? No, I use a different app for JTV, so there is no turn it on to the back camera button for the iPhone. Totally weird. Huh. So you're stressing me out. Okay, well, y'all, I'm just going to turn the camera upside. No, I can't do that from this. All right, everybody hold your breath. Turn you upside down. Turning you upside down and trying to figure out. Hold on, everybody. All right, all right. How's that? Does that work? Can you see my hands? Because here's the thing. I'm having to watch on YouTube. It's not far enough back, is it? I have to watch on YouTube in order to see this way. Okay, well, we're going to do the best that we can with what we've got. It is what it is, y'all. So we're going to get started. Sorry. I'm sorry. I know it's backwards. I don't even know what else to say. I really don't. Okay, well, so now as long as I can stay in front of the camera, we'll be good to go. All right, so this is our maker mix for today. This is the honey. And guys, this one is loaded with check glass. There's a ton of check glass in this. We've got check glass rounds. We've got tons of check glass drops in different shapes. There are some spikes in here. There are some leaves in here. There are some crescents, some bicones, and some crystal cubes. Just a really, really pretty mix. So this one is called honey. Yeah, y'all, thanks for being patient with me today. I'm a little stressed, can you tell? All right, so I'm horizontal here for me. It's normal, full screen. Okay, the problem, guys, is just making sure that I stay in the camera. So just yell at me if I happen to travel out of the way, okay? All right, so we're going to move on. Now, I don't know how these projects are going to go when they're upside down. Maybe turn your phone upside down. I don't know. But we're going to get started. I've got a bracelet for you guys that I think that you guys who love butterflies are going to absolutely love. This one is so pretty. And I did get some of this started already just to save a little bit of time. But this butterfly bracelet has a beautiful butterfly button. And this wooden button, instead of a shank style button, which we use for a lot of our projects, this one is, excuse me, this one is a double drilled button. So you're going to take your nylon cord that is included in your kit, and you're going to take it and fold it in half and just take your two ends and go straight down through the two holes on your button. Okay. Then you're going to bring that to the back of your button and you're going to tie an overhanded knot and you're going to start threading on your beads. The first 4 beads that you're going to thread onto this, I've already done, just like I said, to save a little bit of time, is going to be your mermaid beads. So you want to bring in a mermaid bead, tie an overhanded knot, another mermaid bead, tie an overhanded knot. Those mermaid beads are going to fit onto both strands of your cord. Okay. Now, the next bead in this is not one of those. It is the check glass leaves. So we're going to bring in some check glass leaves, and those are not going to fit. Yeah, it's totally upside down. I'm so sorry, you guys. We're going to make it through today. We're going to make it. It's going to be just fine. But the check glass leaves are drilled like a brio. So the drill is across the top, and the hole on these is just not quite big enough to fit both cords. You could struggle with it if you wanted to, but I don't want to struggle with it. So I'm just going to thread this on to one of the cords, and then I'm going to lay that second cord across the top. So I'm going to show you here. We're going to thread that on. We're going to pull that down next to the knot that we just created. And then I'm going to take that other cord and I'm just going to lay it across the top. Then that cord kind of becomes part of the design itself, right? So then we're going to take those 2 cords back together again, and we're going to tie an overhanded knot. And I like to use my beading awl just to help to cinch those knots up. So I'll put my beading awl down right next to the leaf, and then pull that knot down. That just helps to get the knot tight. You may not have to do that, but it definitely helps. Okay. All right. So I'm going to thread on the rest of the leaves that way. Again, I apologize that we're upside down. The good news is that this is a bracelet. So we're working side to side. Now, when it comes to the necklaces, I might have to do a little flip on you guys, but we'll figure it out. Right. All right. So threading on the leaf, the next leaf, bringing the 2 cords together, and we're going to tie an overhanded knot. Okay, and then again, I pull that knot down, and I like to use my beading awl. Whoops, slide everything back down. It did not get tight, so let's loosen that back up. That's a good thing about using a beading awl for things like this, but if you don't have a beading awl, that's okay. Grab a T-pin if you've got a T-pin, or even a safety pin will work. It just kind of helps to have something pointy to, number one, direct that knot right up next to the bead, but to number two, help to tighten it down. So you actually tie the knot around the beading awl, and then you just very gently slide it out. But like I said, it'll work with anything. See how I just tighten that up a little bit? Okay. Excuse me, guys. I'm still dealing with a little bit of congestion. I'm so over it. All right. So I'm going to thread on the next bead. Bring those two cords together, and then I'm going to tie another overhanded knot. It does help to actually capture the knot with your beading awl or whatever little pokey stick you're going to be using there to catch your knots. There's 3. We've got 3 more, and then we're going to add some more butterflies to this, because that butterfly button is just not enough butterflies for me. So, all right, another one. So these beads, you guys, these beautiful check glass leaves, these are in thanks to, or here, thanks to our dear friend Danielle Wicks. So if you guys have a second, head on over to Danielle's site so you can give her some love. I would not be able to do these Feel Good Friday shows without Danielle and Sam from Sam's Bead Shop. Both amazing human beings who I love dearly, and also have amazing taste in beads. So it makes for a bonus kind of friendship, right? They have good taste. They're great designers. All right. We're going to do one more leaf, and then we're going to thread on our butterflies. Now the butterflies we're going to do very similarly. We're going to thread those butterflies onto one cord because the hole is a little small, so both cords won't fit through. However, we're going to take the cord and run it to the back of the butterfly. So it's going to be kind of the opposite of what we're doing with the leaves here. So I'm going to tie this last overhanded knot here with this leaf to get this in place. That is a wonderful way to look at it, Gail. I love that. So Gail says, it just looks like I'm sitting across from you, looking down and learning. That's all. It's just another way to learn. I love it. I love it. I love it that you can put a positive spin on it, because it definitely was stressing me out a little bit. But you know what? It's just for today. We'll make it. We'll make it. All right. So I've got all of those leaves knotted on, and let me tell you, I kind of love having that cord running across, because it really kind of pulls out that blue even more. All right, so we've got all of those. Now we've got some butterflies that we're going to add to this, and the butterflies, these are from Sam's Bead Shop. The butterflies have that beautiful AB finish on one side, and then are just this really beautiful purple, kind of light lavender on the other side. So you decide which one you want to be the front, which one you want to be the back. Whatever you decide that you want the back to be, that's where we're going to run the cords. So again, opposite from the leaves here. So I'm going to thread on a butterfly, and I'm going to bring that down, and then I'm going to take the cord to the back. Okay, so that's going to run across the back of the butterfly. And then it's just the same thing, more overhanded knots, nothing really hard here. Of course, if you wanted to, since, you know, once you get the kit to your studio and your workspace, you can do whatever you want to with it. You could do square knots, you could do any variety of things that you wanted, but that's how we're going to thread on the butterflies. Okay, so we're thread each butterfly on one at a time. You can do fancy knots. That's all I was saying. You can do fancy knots, but we're just keeping it kind of simple here with these overhanded knots. But get creative, right? You don't have to put things together the exact same way that I do. All right, there's another one. We've got 2 more butterflies to go, and then I'm going to show you how to finish this off. And hopefully our check glass rounds will not be a struggle to get threaded on. Okay, another overhanded knot, and I only mean that because sometimes the ends of your cord will fray. And if the ends of the cord start to fray, there's several different things that you can do to help that. Some of it is something that you can do in advance. So if you know you're going to be using your cord and you're worried that the end is going to start to fray on you, you can add a little bit of glue to the ends. I find that super glue, the ones where you can unscrew the top and then just dip your ends down into the glue, I dip those down about 1 inch each one, and then I'll sit my cord to the side and let it dry. And when it dries, it hardens up. It's really nice. It'll keep the cord from fraying, and it makes your cord act like a needle, just helps it keep it really stiff. It makes it really easy to thread your beads onto. If you don't have time to do that, or you've already started your project, you always can take a break, and do that. Or you can add a little bit of clear nail polish. There are some specialty things that you can put on here. There's like Fray Away. I don't remember what the other one is called, but you can put on the ends. If you're in a pinch, you can always use like Gilder's wax, or you can use, for those of you who do seed beading, if you've got some beeswax around that you use to condition your cords, you can always put that on as well, and that'll keep the ends from fraying on you. Okay. All right. So now we've got all of our butterflies on here. We are ready to finish this off. We're going to finish this off with some very small check glass rounds. I've got, I believe, 7 per strand. I think that's what I've got here. Yeah. All right. So we're going to take these little tiny babies here, and we're going to thread those on one at a time. So I'm going to put 7 onto each strand, and then we're just going to tie these together to make a loop to go over our button. So I'm just going to thread these on really quickly. Fortunately for me, our cord is cooperating nicely. Usually if you get a really good cut on the end of your cord, it won't fray. But if you need a little extra security, definitely take into consideration some of the tricks and tips that not just me, but here in the comment section, everybody's got different ways of dealing with your cords fraying. All right, so now I'm going to move on to the other cord, thread on 7 of these. All right, last one. Okay. All right. So I have 7 of the very small check glass beads on either strand. I'm just going to bring those 2 strands together, and I'm going to tie an overhanded knot. And what happens is that leaves me a beaded loop here, and that's what's going to go over our butterfly for our clasp. So I'm going to tie an overhanded knot, and we will use that beading awl. Pull that knot down nice and tight. Cinch that down. Okay, so we've got our loop. Now, if you want to add, you've got 2 extra beads here. These are that same beautiful color as the check glass leaves. And I like to just add these as dangles. You can leave this part out and just trim your cord, so you don't have to do this part, but I'm going to thread 1 each onto the cord and then tie another overhanded knot on that one. We're going to do the same thing on the other one. Gosh, we're going to have to speed through our other kits because I've got a lot of stuff to show you guys today. All right, and then I'm just going to trim. And your bracelet is complete. So when you take your button through your newly created loop here, you've got a beautiful bracelet here. with your butterflies. So you've got your butterfly beads, you've got your butterfly button. That button is wood, by the way. Pretty cool. Well, it'd be helpful if you could see it, though. Patience, patience. And there you go, right? Super, super cute bracelet. I love this one. I hope you guys love it as well. I wish I could lower you down a little bit more so that you could see it better, but such a pretty bracelet, right? All right, I'm going to set this one to the side. We're not stopping. We got a lot of things to do. So this one is in the shop. If you are interested, grab that one over in the Etsy shop. We're going to move on to our next bracelet. All right, our next bracelet is a knotted bracelet using some very thin leather cord, USA leather, some beautiful Aqua Terra Jasper beads that I got from Sam, and another one of these super cool wooden buttons. All right. And we're going to be using the tying station. However, you don't have to use the tying station for this. You can just tie this, or you can just pin this down to your beading mat. You can tape it down. You can use, any number of ways to secure your work. But what you're going to do first and foremost is you're going to take that piece of leather cord and you are going to bring your ends together, find the middle, and we are going to tie an overhanded knot. We need a loop that's going to be big enough that our button is going to clear the loop. Okay, so overhanded knot here in the middle of our leather cord. Okay, we're going to cinch that down just like that. Now, this is where you're going to attach this to whatever you're going to be using to secure your work. I'm going to be using the tying station. And again, this is going to be kind of weird because it's upside down. But hey, we're making it work today. We're making it work. So I'm just going to unscrew this part of my tying station, and I'm going to hook my loop over the peg at the top of the tying station, replacing my acrylic plate, the washer, and the wing nut. Now, I did not foresee us having to do this upside down, so doing these knots is going to be a little tricky, but do the best that I can to show this to you in the easiest way possible. So you've got your two strands of leather here. You're going to separate those out. One of these is going to be your knotting cord. One of these is going to hold all of your beads. The one that you want to have all your beads on, go ahead and thread all of the beads onto that. And then we're going to secure this leather to the bottom of the tying station. Okay. So, oh, thank you, Mary, so much. I appreciate that so much. All right, so just thread on all of your Aqua Terra Jasper beads here. All right, you're going to thread all of those on. I got 3 more to go here. Okay, and then you're going to just slide those in. We're going to come to the other end. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way here. Come to the other end of the tying station, and I'm just going to slide this leather underneath this bottom acrylic plate here. And then I'm going to tighten that down. All right, so now my beads can slide up and down as I need them, and I can use my other hand to tie knots. Now, this is going to be tricky. I'm going to flip this around. I'm hoping this is going to work. I'm going to flip this around, and I'm actually going to do these knots upside down because I want you guys to see these the correct direction. So this is definitely going to be a trick for me. I'm going to do all of this upside down. Did not anticipate, but that's okay. So what we're going to be doing is we're just creating some very, very simple knots. Okay. So we're doing what we have called in the past our tushy knots. And that's because it looks like 2 little legs with a belt holding the pants up. Okay. We're going to do a tushy knot. We're going to do one all by itself, and then we're going to slide beads into these. Okay. Super easy. So you're going to take the cord that you're knotting, and this is your base cord here. We're going to create a P shape with our cord, right? Going across the top of our, oh gosh, this is weird because it's upside down. We're going across the top of our base cord. We're going to take that cord underneath and up through that P shape, and then we're going to pull. Okay. Now we're going to do the exact same thing, but this time we're making that P shape, and we want the cord to go underneath our base cord, but it's still that P shape. This time you're going to take that cord and you're going to go down through your P shape, and then you're going to pull. And when you pull, you've created a lark's head knot. That's the technical term for it. But we're calling it a little tushy knot because it looks like two little legs in the belt, right? That way you'll never forget our little tushy knot. All right, so you're going to create one of those without any beads. The rest of these, we're going to bring a bead into it. Okay? So we're going to slide a bead down, and then we're just going to follow the exact same steps. We're making our P shape with it going across the base cord. We're taking our cord up, so it's going underneath and then up through that P shape, and you're going to pull. That's going to create a frame on one side of your bead, right? And then we're going to do that P shape again. This time it's underneath. And we're going to take that cord and go down through that P shape, and then you're going to pull, right? And that's it. That is literally all there is to this. You're just going to slide in another bead. You're going to do your P shape again, going across the top, right? You're going up through, and you're going to pull. And this time you're making your P shape with it going underneath, and you're going to take your cord and go down through. Super easy knots. These are good practice knots for if you struggle with a square knot. This is a great place to start. Really, really good place to start. Okay. So you're just going to slide in another bead, and you're going to do this the entire way down the bracelet. Now I'm going to speed up so that we can get all of our beads secured here. Hey, Sandy, I tell you what, Sandy says, no, it takes talent to be able to do these knots upside down. It's funny because I was talking to my JTV crew yesterday, and I was saying, you know, with this new show, what happens if something goes wrong? And they were like, well, very rarely do things go wrong, so you shouldn't worry, but you do have you've got a technical person who's going to be there to help you. And I was like, you know what? Don't say that things very rarely go wrong, because let me tell you, after teaching 2 years of Michael's classes, those virtual Michael's classes that I was teaching, if it can go wrong, it goes wrong, right? I have had everything go wrong possible during those Michael's classes. So not that I like it when things go wrong, but I've learned very quickly how to make the best of a situation. And if it means we got to tie these knots upside down so that you can see them the correct direction, then by golly, that's what we're going to do. Might not be the most ideal solution for me, but at least you're still getting the project, right? All right, so you can see that's all there is to this. I'm just creating one of those cute little tushy knots in between each one of these beads. That's all there is to it. You're just going to slide another bead up. You're going to do your P shape with it running across the top. And then you're going to do the same P shape, this time with it going underneath and taking the cord down through, and you're going to pull, and you're going to do that every single time. That tushy knot, though, has to be done in both steps. So don't forget a step, right? Don't just do the one step and then slide a bead up. You've got to do both steps in order to secure those beads and to complete that knot. If it doesn't look like two little legs with the belt holding the pants up, then you haven't done all the steps. All right, so there is one thing that I forgot to tell you guys about this project, and it's because I was more concerned with doing this upside down than I was with remembering one of the very important steps to this. Now, I'm gonna stop, even though I still have some beads left. And the reason that I'm gonna stop is because I'm actually running out of cord. You are not going to run out of cord. Thank you, Prudence. Thank you so much. You're not going to run out of cord, and let me tell you why. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this off of the tying station. I'll show you how to finish this off here in just a second. But you're not going to run out of cord, because when you go to tie your loop in your cord, I forgot, you guys, it's not in the middle. It's not in the middle at all. One of your cords you want to be about 10 to 11 inches long. That's going to be the cord that you thread your beads onto. Okay, so don't go to the middle. If you go to the middle, you're going to run out of your knotting cord. This cord, the base cord that has your knots, or I'm sorry, yeah, that is holding your knots and holding your beads, it only needs to be, like I said, 10 to 11 inches. So that's not half. So tie your overhanded loop at less than half, obviously. So where you've got one cord that's 10 inches and the other cord is obviously going to be longer, that longer cord's going to be the one that you're going to tie your knots with so you don't run out. Okay. I was just a little flustered and got completely thrown off. All right. So we are going to finish this off though, even though I have not added all of the beads. Just don't forget that little trick. Okay. So now you're going to, when you get to the end, you've got your last knot. You're going to take this off of the tying station and you're going to tie an overhanded knot. Okay. Then you're going to add your button. Now, again, this button is just like the button from the previous project. It is not a, it's not a shank style button like we normally use. It's a 2-hole button. And we are going to take it and thread our leather through those 2 holes coming up through the back. Okay, and we're going to bring our button down and then we're going to tie another overhanded knot to secure our button. So that knot's going to be on the front of the button. You can tie it tight, you can tie it loose. It's totally up to you. Okay, but that's how you're going to secure your button. And then your button, you can trim some of these off as well. These are a little long. But your button is going to go through your loop and that's going to secure your bracelet. Now, this is the tiniest bracelet ever. Again, we were lacking some beads, just kind of saving time to show you. So we have a little baby bracelet here. Yours is going to be a full-size bracelet. Now, if you need the bracelet to be a little bit longer, obviously you're going to be able to add extra knots to this. So if you need to add 2 or 3 knots before you start knotting around the beads at the front and at the end, you absolutely can do that. But this is what your finished bracelet is going to look like. And guys, this is a great unisex piece. This works for both guys and girls. And it's just a really cool way to mix your leather and your gemstones together. So that one is in the shop as well. I'm going to sit this to the side. We're going to move on. Yeah, it's a Barbie size bracelet. All right, I'm going to move this over to the side. We're going to keep going. We're not stopping. All right, I've got 2 necklaces to show you guys. And the first necklace is a tassel style necklace. Excuse me. Now this is going to be tricky to do this one upside down. We're going to do the best that we can. So included in your kit is a beautiful piece of sari ribbon, and you're going to use this to create a tassel. Then you are going to do a little beaded section. You've got some chain for the length of your necklace here and some really pretty beads. All right. So I'm going to show you how to create your tassel first, and then I'm going to show you how to do the rest of the necklace. So what we're going to do is we are going to take one of the pieces of wire that is included in your kit. Okay. And we're going to use that to do our tassel. Now for the tassel, I'm going to just kind of wrap it around my fingers, and I'm going to go around my fingers a few times here. That, once we trim, is going to leave me a pretty full tassel. Now you can do a longer tassel by doing less wraps. So if you wanted to do like, let's see, you wanted to go this direction, make your tassel a little bit longer and just loop it over that way, you've got a little bit longer tassel. Let's go with that. Okay, so now obviously your tassel is going to have this loop in it. You're going to cut that, and that's going to give you 4 strands for your tassel. I just don't want to cut this one because this one's actually going to go into somebody's kit, right? But once you get your tassel together, go ahead and trim that so you've got a nice tassel here. But what you're going to do is you're going to take your tassel, you're going to find the middle of that cord, and you're going to take your wire, and you just want to bend your wire over the tassel, just like that, or over the sari ribbon, just like that. Okay. And then you can do just like a messy loop. Nobody's going to see it. It's going to go to the inside of a cone. Okay. So don't worry about what this looks like. All you need to be worried about is just securing the end, right? Mine is really messy and I'm okay with that. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool, trim off. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these gorgeous tiara cast cones and I'm going to thread that down, and that's going to cover up that messy wrap. So you're never going to see any of that. All you've got is just this beautiful sari ribbon that is coming out of the bottom of your cone. Okay, so now it's just a matter of stringing on some beautiful beads, and then we're going to do a wrapped loop. Okay, so I'm going to thread on, let's see here. I'm going to thread on, you've got a bunch of beads to work with here. I'm going to set aside the beads that are going to go in the actual necklace as opposed to the ones we're going to use in the tassel here in just a second, because I don't want to get everything mixed up. All right, so what we've got here is we've got a bead cap. Got a couple of bead caps actually. We've got a faceted crystal bead and we've got some metal beads. So I'm going to thread on one of the metal beads. Okay, I'm going to drop that down. It's going to sit right on the top of the cone. I'm going to thread on a bead cap. Now listen, you can do this in any order you want. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. Okay, I'm going to thread on my faceted bead, and then I'm going to thread on another bead cap. I'm going to thread on one of these really cool filigree beads, and then a metal bead. Again, any order you want. You don't have to do it this way. Thank you so much, Stephanie. All right, just like that. Now we're going to do a wrapped loop here. And I'm going to make my wrapped loop. I'm going to double mine. You don't have to double yours if you don't want to. You can do just a single, but I'll show you. So, and again, we're kind of upside down. Trying to think, can I do a wrapped loop upside down? Never. Have I done that before? I don't know. We're going to grab the wire with our chain nose pliers. We're going to bend the wire over the top of the pliers. Okay. We're going to come in with our round nose pliers. And we're going to take the wire. This is a challenge for sure. We're going to take the wire up and over the top barrel of the pliers. And if you want, wow, you can do, so it turns out I'm not very good at doing this upside down, y'all. All right, undo. You're just going to have to watch this right side up. I apologize. Turns out I'm not yet proficient in upside down wrapped loops. That's all right. Okay. Bending the wire over the top of our chain nose pliers. We're bringing in our round nose pliers. We're going up and over the top barrel of the pliers. Take the pliers and rotate so that bottom barrel is now the top. Now, if you want to go around them a second time, you can. I'm not gonna this time. I'm just going to do my wraps in between the loop we created and the top of our bead here, right? So now we've got a wrapped loop. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and trim off the excess. Too funny. So there are some things I can do upside down and other things I can't. Who knew? Who knew? I'm going to have to work on that, right? All right. So again, with your tassel, you've got a loop here on the bottom. You want to go ahead and trim that so you've got a nice full tassel. Okay, so now we're going to take our other piece of wire and we're going to do a wrapped loop on the end of our wire. So I'm coming in with my chain nose pliers, grabbing the wire, giving it a bend. We're going to come in with our round nose pliers, going up and over. Again, rotate those pliers to move that bottom barrel to the top. And then you're just going to wire wrap about 3 times. So essentially what you have created is an eye pin, a really long eye pin. All right, you're going to trim off the excess. All right, now you're going to thread on some beads here. You've got some really beautiful beads to thread on. I'm going to thread on a metal bead. I'm going to thread on 2 of these gorgeous check glass rondelles. Got these from Danielle, and they have that beautiful blue that is the same blue that's in our tassel here. So I'm going to thread those on. I'm going to thread on a metal bead. The next thing I'm going to thread on is my tassel. Okay, I'm going to thread on another metal bead. Wait, how many metal beads do I have? That is not what we're doing. Forgot my little rondelles here. 2 more rondelles, then your tassel. I was like, I know I've got more rondelles here. Hold on. Okay, 2 rondelles. Then you're going to thread on your tassel. Yes, I know all of this is upside down. That's okay. We're just stringing. We're just stringing. Threading on 2 more rondelles. We're going to thread on a metal bead. 2 more rondelles, and then our last metal bead, and we're going to do a wrapped loop. And that is the beaded section for your necklace. Super quick, super cute, but you've got this amazing sari ribbon tassel to go on this, right? All right, so we're going to do a wrapped loop here to secure all of our beads, right? So chain nose pliers, give it a bend. We're coming in with our round nose pliers, up and over. Rotate the pliers, take the wire over to the other side, and then you're just going to wire wrap in that space. And you're going to come in with your cutter tool to trim off. All right. Now, because this is a wire base, you're going to be able to either leave this straight, or you can take it and give it a nice bend, right? To give it a really beautiful U shape or a V shape, depending on what you want. Okay. And then all you're going to do is you're just going to take 2 jump rings. You've got some, you've actually got 4 jump rings for the back of your chain here. But for us, since we're saving a little bit of time, we're just going to use some jump rings to connect our chain pieces to our wrapped loops. You've got a nice long piece of chain. You can adjust that by trimming some of it off to make this necklace as long as you want it to be, or as short as you want it to be, right? Thread that on and you are done. You've got a really, really beautiful, it's just simple though, right? It's just simple. This is one of those pieces that you can layer with so many other pieces, and a great piece for summer and spring for sure. This blue is just so pretty. All right, so that was our first necklace. We've got 1 more necklace to go, and then a pair of earrings, and then I'm going to let you guys go for the day. So our next necklace is just a simple stringing, but we are going to do a little wire wrapping for this one, just because I want it to have a really pretty centerpiece here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to separate out our beads. We've got, make sure you can see them. I forget that this camera is so much smaller. So we've got some really beautiful rondelles. These are smooth rondelles. We've got a couple of bead caps in here. We've got our crimps, jump rings, and some chain. But the beads, that's what we really want to focus on here. We've got some beautiful clear with that AB finish, these little rice beads. Got these from Sam. And then we also have some of these very little, little tiny rondelles in a kind of a frosty purple blue. It really goes well. We've got also some of these little bit bigger rondelles. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a focal with our beautiful Lampwork bead, and then we're going to string a necklace. Now, again, you can do this however you want, right? You don't have to put this together the same way that I do. We're going to do a knotted head pin here with a piece of wire that is included in your kit. However, if you just want to use a head pin instead, that is totally up to you. You don't have to feel like you got to do any fancy wire work, but you do have the piece of wire if you want to, okay? So for our knotted head pin, we're going to come in with our round nose pliers, and we are grabbing the very tip of the wire with the tip of the pliers. And we're going to roll that wire around the tip of the pliers 2 times, all the way around twice. And we're going to stop where we see that cut in the wire. Once we know we've been around it twice, we're going to take the wire and we want to bend it so that it goes underneath those wire wraps. Don't bend it this direction, coming towards your hand. You want to be sure that you're bending it away from your hand, away from the tool. Okay. Now you're going to take that off of the tool. You're going to take that wire and you're going to turn it around and stick the tail back through the loops that you just made, those little coils. All right. Now you're going to come in with your nylon jaw pliers, you're going to grab that wire right next to those 2 coils that you made, and you're going to pull the wire, and that's going to pull it through, and it's going to create a little knot at the end of your wire. It gives you a knotted head pin. Okay. Now we're going to thread on our Lampwork bead. Then we're going to thread on a bead cap that's facing downwards over the top. We're going to take another bead cap and face it the opposite direction. Okay. We're going to take one of our faceted rondelles and then one of the small faceted rondelles. And if you want to, there's even a little daisy spacer in here. You can pop a daisy spacer in between those or on the top. It's totally up to you how you want to stack your little beads up. But then we're going to do a wrapped loop. Okay. And we're going to do kind of a large wrapped loop here because we want this loop to be able to fit over one of these rice check glass beads. All right. So coming in with my chain nose pliers, grabbing the wire right where it is exiting the bead, bending the wire over the top of the pliers. Now we're going to come in with our round nose pliers. We're going to come back here and use the back of the round nose pliers. And we're going to do our loop. And if you want to, you've got enough wire, you can actually double that. So I'm going to go around the round nose pliers a second time, just to kind of thicken up and double up that loop. And then I'm going to take the wire and wire wrap. All right. And tuck in your ends. You're going to come in with your cutter tool and trim off any of the excess wire. I think I did one too many wraps on that. I got a little excited. Let's undo one of those. That's fine. And we're going to trim that off. And then use your pliers if you need to tuck in your ends. And you've got a really beautiful Lampwork focal for your necklace. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do the stringing part of the necklace. So you're just going to sit this to the side, and we're going to bring in our bead stringing wire, and we're going to crimp. Let me undo here. All right. Excuse me. So we're going to take our crimp and we are going to thread that on to the end of our bead stringing wire. We're going to take that bead stringing wire and we're going to loop it through a jump ring, and then we're going to go back down through our crimp. Now, if you want to use a wire guardian here from your own stash, you absolutely can. You just want to be sure that your bead stringing wire is not crossing inside. Okay. You want to be sure that those wires are running parallel inside that crimp. You're going to come in with your crimper tool and you're going to place that into the back notch of the crimper. That's the one that looks like the macaroni noodle. It's got that tooth that comes down. You're going to place the wires in there, or the crimp in there, and you're going to give it a squeeze. It's going to further separate out those wires within the crimp. You're going to turn that crimp sideways, put that into the front notch of the crimper tool, and then you're going to give that a squeeze. And that's just going to make it a little bit more compact. And you're going to trim off the excess because you don't need any of that. Right now we're ready to string. And as far as the pattern of this is concerned, you really can just string this up however you want. Now I'm actually going to, if you will give me just a second, I'm going to pull up a picture because I want to be sure that I string this one up the same way that it looks in the picture with the live, or I'm sorry. My goodness. So, hold on, everybody. All right. Pull up the picture here. I just want to be sure that I put this together the same way it is in the listing, just so that I don't throw anybody off. So I'll pull the picture up. It's just taking my iPad a second. I apologize for the wait, but you know, we're doing things a little different today. So, all right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to thread on one of the smallest rondelles, okay? And then I'm going to thread on a larger rondelle. And then I'm going to thread on 3 of the smooth rondelles. Whoops. Okay. And then I'm just going to repeat that. I'm going to do one of the kind of medium-sized rondelles and then a small rondelle. And then I'm going to drop those down. Okay. And we're going to thread on 3 of the rice beads. So there's 1, 2, and 3. We're going to thread on a medium rondelle, 3 more of the rice beads. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to repeat that pattern with our rondelles. Okay. So we're going to do small rondelle. I have lost myself. Hold, please. I lost my YouTube feed here. There we go. All right. So we're going to thread on one of the small ones, one of the medium size, 3 of the smooth rondelles. All right. So there's 3. We're going to do a medium and a small and drop those down. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Now we're going to do 3 of these rice beads, and we're going to thread our focal on top of these. So you'll see that focal that we created is going to sit right on top of this middle rice bead. So you can actually go ahead and thread it on now if you want to. Okay, so when we drop those down, that's going to sit right on the rice beads so that metal, our wire, is not sitting up against the bead stringing wire, right? Those beads are protecting that so that there's not going to be any abrasion there at all, right? All right, so now we're just going to finish out the pattern to finish off the necklace. So we're threading on the small rondelle, the medium, 3 of these smooth rondelles. Looks like no, I thought I was missing a bead, but I'm not. Okay. 1 of the medium rondelles, a small rondelle. Okay, and then we're going to do 3 of the rice beads. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to do a medium rondelle. Right, just keeping our pattern going. 3 of the rice. Okay. A small rondelle, medium, and we're finishing off with our last 3 of the smooth. Okay, and then our last medium rondelle and our last small rondelle. All right, so we've got this for your necklace, and we're going to go ahead and crimp. Okay, I don't know how much of that you can see. This is also weird today. Everything is so weird. We're going to take that crimp. We're going to thread that onto our bead stringing wire. We're going to take the bead stringing wire through our jump ring. And we're going to thread that back through our crimp. We're going to bring all of that down. And again, you want to be sure that you're not crisscrossing those wires inside your crimp. You're going to bring in your crimper tool, place that into the back notch, give it a squeeze, and then you're going to turn it sideways, put it into the front notch, give it a squeeze, and you are going to trim off the excess. Right, you've got beautiful. Now you're just going to finish this off with some chain. Your chain piece, you can adjust the length on, obviously, by cutting if you want to. We're going to open up our jump ring here. And thread on the end of our chain. You've got hardware for the back of your chain as well. 2 more jump rings and a clasp. But we are just saving time, not cutting our chain because this one's going to go into somebody's kit. So we're just going to leave ours one singular piece. And we are done. We've got a really beautiful blue, and it's that soft blue, right? That soft blue that is really going to be good for spring. It's going to work for summer, but it's also the kind of like icy blue that you can wear in the wintertime. So definitely got a long shelf life as far as this piece is concerned. But there you go, guys. That was our second necklace for the day. I've only got one more thing to show you, and then I'm going to let you guys go. I've got a pair of earrings that matches this. So if you would like to have the whole little set, you want the beautiful necklace with the matching earrings, I've got a quick, simple little pair of earrings that go with these that you can kind of adjust the length on, because some of you may not want them to be as long, but this is the cutie little pair of earrings that goes with this. It's 3 of the rice beads. Well, it's actually 4, but you've got 3 little sections of rice beads and then a section that's a rice bead and one of those smooth rondelles with some bead caps. And it makes just a really pretty little pair. If that's too long for you, you can take out some of the rice beads, so it doesn't have to be a super long earring. All right, we're just going to take a head pin. We're going to thread on a daisy spacer. We're going to thread on a smooth rondelle and a bead cap and a rice bead. And we're just going to do a simple loop here. Now feel free to do a wrapped loop if you want to, but we're just going to do a super simple little loop. So I'm grabbing the wire and I'm just going to bend it right where it exits the bead, right? I don't have to do it over the top of the pliers because we're not doing any wraps. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool. I'm going to trim off, leave yourself about 1/4 of an inch of wire. And then you're going to come in with your round nose pliers and you're going to roll back to create your loop. All right, you're going to do the same thing with your rice beads, but you're going to put these onto eye pins. So you've got 3 of those. 2 of them are already done for us. I'm going to put 1 down onto an eye pin and just do another simple loop. Trim off, leave yourself about 1/4 of an inch of wire. Use your round nose pliers. Roll back. Okay, and then you're just going to link all of these together. So you're going to take one of them and you just want to twist to open just like you would a jump ring. Thread that on and then you're just going to twist to close that back. Move up to the next loop, twist to open, thread on the next one, twist to close, move up, twist to open, thread on the next one, twist to close, and then all you're going to do is just add your ear wire to the top link, the top loop rather, and you are done. And again, you can adjust these if this is too long of an earring for you. You don't have to use all of those rice beads, but you've got a really cute little pair of earrings to go with your necklace. So there you go. All right, my guys. I am going to turn you around because this has just been the weirdest show ever. Let's see. Am I going the right direction? Nope. Sorry. Not trying to make you sick. I promise. Hello. We did it. We did the whole show upside down. Can you believe it? Too crazy. Too crazy. All right. Let's turn you guys. Should we turn you this way? There we go. It's a little less weird if we turn you that direction. All right. So I'm going to show you guys. We're going to go back through everything again. And I do want to say something. So as I was going through, I had the camera turned upside down. Obviously, I couldn't see. So I was having to rely on the iPad that was across from me to kind of judge where my hands were. So I appreciate everybody's patience. Yes, it was upside down. Some of it I was able to do upside down. Some of it I was not. I did the best that I could. You guys are amazing. But one thing that I do want to say is that because I was watching the iPad and not watching the phone here, I did not see any comments. I only saw maybe 2 or 3 comments at all. So I was not ignoring you. If you guys were asking me questions or if you were saying things, and I missed all of it. So I will have to go back and check out the comments. I wasn't ignoring you. I just was not able to see those going by as I was working. Oh my. All right. So let's take a look here. Now remember, your tassel you're going to cut apart, right? So yours is not going to be a loop like mine is, but this was our tassel necklace. Super pretty with that sari ribbon and those beautiful rondelle beads. So that was one of our necklaces. don't know that I'm the trooper. I think you guys are the trooper for putting up with my crazy today. You didn't have to stick around. You could have just been like, well, this is a mess. So I appreciate you hanging on with me today. All right, so this is our other necklace. Just trying to set our beautiful focal here in the center. So this was our, is that not pretty? It looks so much better hanging than it does down on the mat, right? You never really get the full thing until you get to see it on the bust. So there is that beautiful blue lamp work and that soft, soft blue. I just love that so much. So there was that. And then of course we had the matching earrings to go with that. Hold those up for you guys so that you can see those. So pretty, and of course adjustable as far as the length is concerned. And then we had 2 bracelets, one that ended up being baby sized because we were trying to save some time and I ran out of that leather. So remember about the leather measurement when you go to put yours together with our little tushy knots. Super cute. Love this bracelet. It's a great unisex bracelet. And then our last bracelet was our beautiful butterflies and check glass leaves here. So we had the check glass leaves. Those were all knotted on with that beautiful cord, and the butterflies and our button here for the clasp. Super cool bracelet. I really loved all of the designs in today's show, and I wish that I could have been more enthusiastic about them because I really was in love with every single piece today, but I was just so thrown off with this whole camera situation. So I didn't really get to fully express how much I love these pieces, but I really, when I was putting the kits together this week, I was like, darn, these are good. So I hope that you guys have felt the same way about it. Again, anybody who's made a purchase in my Etsy shop, I thank you so, so much. I will be packaging those up and shipping those to you as soon as possible. Yeah, that's it. That's it for me, you guys. I made it through the weirdest Feel Good Friday show ever, and so did you. Thank you so, so much for hanging on and sticking through with me today. You guys, don't forget to set your reminders because Master Maker on JTV Extra premieres this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern. You guys, make sure to hit those hearts, those love buttons for the show, and pass it around. Post it wherever, share it where you can. I cannot wait to get started. I'm a little nervous. I'm especially after today's show. Whoa, what's going to happen this afternoon? I hope it goes more smoothly than today's show, right? But I will see you guys later. For those of you who are in the path of the storm, buckle down, stay safe. I will see the rest of you guys this afternoon. And everybody, have a wonderful weekend if I don't see you later. I love you so much. Bye, guys.